So the next one we have to discuss is another Georgia Bulldog defender. Off the edge, but many are, the guy destroyed the combine.
Oh, yeah.
But he had the most interesting RAS score I've ever seen because listed as a defensive end, he flat out destroyed all of the explosion and speed categories. A 9.99 composite grade with a 4.39 40-yard dash. A 1.47 10-yard split was a perfect 10 at the position. His 41.5-inch vertical was a 9.98 composite grade at the position. But the problem was a 0.7 very poor composite grade with being 238 pounds, and his height as well did not fit the mold of defensive ends. So a lot of people want to see him as an off-ball linebacker, but Nolan Smith as an edge rusher is a very intriguing prospect in how his draft process has gone so far.
I mean, very intriguing. One of the best combine performances we've seen in a long time. I do question the edge rusher position. I don't really know what's going to happen. I tend to agree with a lot of those people as an off-ball linebacker. I think that just makes a lot of sense. He's got the speed. He's got the ability. His tackling ability is very good, so he could play that position very well. But, I mean, he's got good production. I mean, he could play the edge position if he really wanted to. He's got the skills to be able to do it. I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold up for 17 games at that size. He's going to have to add more weight. He's going to have to just build his body a little more.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, what? He's 238 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably got to get to at least 250 to be an adequate edge rusher. Can his body hold up that extra 12, 15 pounds for a 17-game season? That's the big thing. I think his toughness and he'll be able to hold up for 17 games, but will his body be able to hold up with the extra weight added on? That's my big question. Just because he is small for an edge rusher, he needs to grow. He needs to build the body more, and I don't know if it's going to be able to hold that for that period of time over a 17-game season. So I think the best decision for his career would be to be an off-ball linebacker, and I think he will be very good at that. But again, I mean, that's pretty much up to the team that drafts him. What do they see him as, and do they think he's worth it for that position?
And that's not a very common scheme that we're seeing in a lot of NFL defenses right now, where they have an off-ball coverage linebacker, which that's how Georgia used him, and they used him very effectively. 91% of his snaps were outside the tackle in 2022, but a lot of those reps were pretty much off-ball.
Yep.
And a lot of dropping in zone coverage, but a guy who, at the end of the day, was one of the most emotional leaders on a two-time national championship defense.
Yep.
Back-to-back years. A lot of people best describe him as being physical, violent, and relentless, which is on par. He's kind of a missile as the defensive end with his speed. And, again, the size concern of how you're going to use him, and are you going to use him effectively like the other players at this position. But a downhill athlete, and the athleticism is shown. What he showed at the combine showed up on the tape as well. Being able to cover some of these receivers and linebackers in zone coverage is another thing that you can use as an enticing piece of his game that other people at the position don't show.
Yeah, and here's the thing: he's a straight athlete. He is going to be a very good NFL player. You just got to find out where he's going to play. That's the thing. Teams are going to find a way. If they draft him, which, I mean, I'm assuming top 20. I think he should be in the top 20, despite the question mark of where he's going to play. But teams are going to find somewhere to put him on the field. It's going to work, no matter what it is. Off-ball linebacker, edge rusher, some hybrid position that they can put him, whatever it is. They're going to find a way to get him on the field at some point, and, he's going to be productive. He's going to do what he does. He's going to be a great leader in the locker room. He's going to be a great leader on the field as well, and some team is going to be very happy for him. They just kind of need to figure out what position they can use him in their scheme.
Yeah.
And, if they want to draft him for a position that they're kind of, figuring out. So, it all depends. Edge rusher is the sexy position that I think, might get him drafted a little higher. But, he's a great player, great speed, and he'll be a good NFL player this year.
So we'll pull up the tape here and see some of this explosiveness that he was able to show off the line of scrimmage, being able to run down quarterbacks, chase down tackles, and also being able to drop back in coverage as well. But just the relentless nature, never quitting on any play, always driving his legs, moving his body toward the football wherever it may have been on the field. A relentless and violent guy. Here we go. Here, running down a receiver outside the numbers and tackling him out of bounds. So that kind of thing was really appealing to him, and what he was able to do at Georgia the past few years, with the national championship defense, and all of the first round caliber players that they were able to bring out of it. So an interesting player, and see where his fit may lie as we get closer to the start of the draft. Is he going to be a top 15 guy, top 20 guy?
Top 10. I mean, some people got him going top 10. I mean,
yeah.
You don't really know, and I feel like we see that with a lot of players this year, where there's a lot of depth at these positions, and with wide receiver, we could see 5 guys go in the first round, we could see 2 guys go in the first round. With the edge rushers, we could see Nolan Smith go in the top 10, we could see him go 25. I mean, you really don't know with this position just because there is so much talent. There are guys that we're going to talk about. We've got 4 more guys that we're talking about today. For all we know, those 4 guys could end up getting drafted above him. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent, a lot of top-end talent at the position. So, it's very tough to predict exactly where these guys are going to fall this year.